You care too much. And that's the problem. You sit there overthinking every word, replaying moments that should have been forgotten. You break yourself into pieces trying to understand people who never once tried to understand you. And for what? To be seen, to be loved by those who never even respected you. Let me let you in on something brutal. The ones who hurt you. They sleep just fine at night. They're not thinking about the damage they caused. They're not haunted by your silence or shaken by your tears. They've already moved on, laughing, pretending, thriving off the chaos they left behind. But you're still stuck, still bleeding over battles that ended long ago, still trying to explain your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. That's not strength. That's surrender. They don't deserve your fire. They don't even deserve your fury. What they fear is your coldness. Because once you stop caring, once your eyes go quiet and your heart turns to ice, that's when it starts to burn them. That's when they panic. That's when they realize they lost control, and nothing hurts them more than that. They want you emotional, angry, hurt, desperate. Because when you feel deeply, you react. And when you react, they win. That's the trap. They guilt you into silence, shame you into apologies, make you chase validation that they never intend to give. You keep trying to explain, hoping they'll understand, but they won't. They never planned to. You were too soft, too open. You gave them access to your heart like it was a gift. And they treated it like a weapon. They don't want your truth. They want your reaction. Because reactions mean power. It means they can still push your buttons, still write your story. The more you explain, the more control you hand over. But here's what they didn't expect. That one day you'd stop responding, that one day you'd go quiet, that one day you'd stop bleeding every time they press the wound. Staying cold isn't about shutting down, it's about shutting them out. Cold is clarity, cold is control, cold is freedom. Because the second you stop caring about their version of the story, their entire script falls apart. You know what really messes with their heads? Silence. Not the angry kind that waits to explode. The cold kind. The kind that doesn't flinch, doesn't reply, doesn't even blink. Because once you stop reacting, they lose the one thing they were feeding on. Your energy. See, people expect noise. They expect a fight. They want you to scream, cry, argue, anything that proves they still matter. But when you go quiet, that's when they start to crumble. Your silence becomes a mirror, and they can't stand what they see. Let them throw their insults. Let them spin their little lies. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to play their game, because cold doesn't mean weak. It means untouchable. Let them talk while you walk. Let them burn out while you breathe easy. They're swinging at shadows, throwing punches at someone who's no longer in the ring. That's real power. Not proving them wrong, but proving they're irrelevant. Because nothing confuses a manipulator more than realizing you're done playing their game. And you've left without saying a word. They never expected you to stop caring. They expected tears, drama, a breakdown they could point to and say, "See, I told you they were unstable." But instead, you gave them nothing. Not a word, not a glance, just silence, cold enough to freeze their ego. And now they're spiraling. Because without your attention, they have nothing to feed on. Their mind becomes the battlefield, a place where doubt and regret whisper louder than your voice ever did. They start wondering, did you finally figure them out? Are you plotting something, or worse? Have you really moved on? The truth eats at them. The quiet burns hotter than any argument ever could, and the more you stay still, the more they unravel. That's what they never saw coming. They thought they could keep the upper hand forever, that they could play you like a puppet, but you cut the strings, didn't you? You didn't set their world on fire, you just walked away and let them light the match themselves. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need a dramatic comeback, a public confrontation, or a grand moment where they finally realize what they lost. Because here's the truth. Your peace is punishment enough. Every step you take in silence, every smile you wear that doesn't include them, every breath you take without dragging their shadow behind you, that's what breaks them. Not rage, not retaliation, just distance. Cold, calm, clean distance. You stopped playing, stopped explaining, stopped bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. And now you're untouchable. Because the one thing they can't handle is being forgotten. That's the burn. Not your words, but your absence. Not your anger, but your indifference. Let them wonder. Let them spin. Let them stay trapped in the fire they started, searching for a door that no longer exists. You're already gone, already free. And that silence, that's the loudest goodbye you'll ever need.